Good morning. Might be afternoon, tomorrow for some of you. So welcome. Thank you. I threw a public visual satsang in the middle of the holidays just because I like the satsang energy, but sometimes holidays can be interesting things happening with the emotions up, down, or around. So everything is welcome here as it always is. I'll just throw up my slides here for a sec just to set the container. Just fussing with my view so I can see you at the same time here. Good. Slides look good. You can see them okay, Joe? I see everybody's nods happening. Good. Okay, great. So as you know, Public Visual Satsang. I should change my number here, but it's number 54. After this kind of startup phase of things, we'll slip into meditation. Then it's spontaneous processing. So it might be different kinds of reports. Those of you who have been here previously, anything that's momentum-wise happening with your inner work. And then we meet what's present today. So arisings, what's present. So spontaneous inner work will happen. Sometimes we cascade. Usually it's about 2 hours. But if we're in the middle of a piece of work, or if a lot of people in the container want to do some work, I've got time to keep going today, so we may slip into bonus time. I'll let you know when we get to that time period. You're certainly welcome throughout the whole thing to come and go as you like. I just ask if you do leave, if you put a little note into the chat, just because sometimes things can get activated, right? So I want to make sure that folks are leaving in a okay emotional state. Otherwise, I'll follow up, make sure you're okay. As I said, these are recorded. They appear on 2 different places, depending on the content. So if it's more mainstream, quote unquote, acceptable content from the powers that be, it ends up on YouTube. I keep hoping for some delicious renegade content here, but understandably, it kind of happens in code. So Rumble, if anything is kind of dicey for mainstream, it ends up on Rumble. Very much, it's a non-dual Advaita Vedanta approach. Here we do a lot of satsang, or sorry, a lot of self-inquiry. Sometimes I'll flash here, I'm a coach with a bunch of tools, visual coaching tools. I have about 40 different tools that I've created over the decades. So depending on what arises, we may use some of these tools as well. And there is a page, Jill, it's helpful if you might be able to get this page. It is there on the site, and if you can put it into the chat, I might be able to, I can't do it on this view. So I'll just leave it up here as you type away.
Okay.
There's a collection of tools that tends to come up here in satsang. So over on this URL are several of the visual maps that I use. So if you care to process along with the maps, you can find them there. Okay. You got it? Okay. Now I'll flash this date. The next one I've set for Thursday, January 19th. It's a little more, what's the word, palatable, I guess, for you in your hemisphere, right? So actually, I forgot to change the time. So it's 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Sorry, that is the correct date. But I like to kind of we get people from around the world, so I like to alternate the time zones. So for those down under, it's a little easier. I'll change that as we go here. Okay, so more will become apparent as we move along. It's different every time, so we'll see what happens today. But for now, we'll just slip into 10 minutes of meditation. And I'll pop up after that's done with a soft welcome, welcome. And then we'll just segue into what are our reports, what are our risings, and find our way today, seeing what's present, meeting it all. Okay, thanks. Hey, welcome, welcome. Hi, Norma, seeing you pop in. We'll just see what's any reports and then what's arising. What might be coming to sit in satsang today. We'll find our agenda based on that. Just take your time, no rush.
Something that's showing up for me is, well, it's how I'm showing up for myself or not showing up for myself, really. So I don't know if anyone else is experiencing that, but obviously as we go into the new year, yeah, it's just something that I want to look at, you know, as we go through the process.
Thanks, Dolly. Perfect. Yeah. Noted.
Well, I'm
Sal, I can see arms. Go for it.
Yeah. I'm just having a little glum over here. I'm coming out of it. December was hard, and I just acknowledge that December is going to be hard because it's like Yarzites and it, you know, anniversaries and stuff. And it's just a time to be quiet and think about the people who are no longer here. But I'm having kind of a thing about aging. And there's a part of me that's kind of like in between. I finished visual coaching this year. I also just finally got the certificate for cosmic smash booking, which has been hanging over my head for 2 years. And I love completing. But there's always this feeling, I start dreaming about moving. It shows up as moving dreams, where it's like my stuff isn't packed and my parents are waiting for me to get my act together. And I'm just also feeling this natural kind of, and this is where the mortality comes in. It's like, am I done? I'm having a little kind of spiritual, am I done right now? I don't think I am. I think I still have some work to do here. But yeah.
Beautiful.
So that's where I am.
Okay. Well, just right now, we'll just welcome all of it. Yeah. All is welcome here. And I've got wonderful notes of what you said as well. So plenty for us to meet here and find our order of them. Thanks, Val.
For me, what's arising this morning, a gift that my mom gave me for Christmas was this bar of soap, and the brand is Mother-Daughter Soap, and it's called Peacemaker. And so I'm curious about shifting my inner child's relationship with my adult self, my inner mother. And I noticed that when I was with my family at Christmas, I was helping my mother make the food and set the table and clean up and things like that. And I had to just accept my role and her instructions, and so I did them, and she was very specific, and I noticed that this pattern, there's a pattern that's upsetting me in my life that relates to this relationship with her. So I'd like to,
Okay.
I think it's like
Beautiful.
forgiveness or something. I'm not sure.
Mhm. Yeah, we'll find our way with it when we meet it. Thank you. Funny enough, I got some of those soaps too. Must be a brand locally or something. Yeah. Anybody else? Not necessary, but if you care to share, if there's any reports of unfoldment or anything that's coming to sit today, we've got lots to work with, but just let me know if there's anything else present at this point in time. Yeah.
I have different energies that I'm able to sense. It's been freezing here. And I think we've only had summer for about 3 days now, but we're loving it. And one of the things that I'm finding, I don't know where this is coming from. I'm being sort of called to do things with or in service of a collective and a community. But I get a sense it's not the tribes or the people that I'm familiar and comfortable with. And so I'm feeling open and curious about it, which is nice, I guess.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And sort of, I think, fits in with this new summer energy that I'm feeling, which is again a new thing for me because I'm a winter person, but the stuff shifting, there's light and warmth.
Yes, please. Very nice. Thank you. Yeah, Mary. Oops, something's going on. There must be a double mute. Does your device have a mute too? Mm-hmm.
That better? Yes. Okay.
There you go. Yeah.
Headphones, always a problem. No, I'm feeling wonderful gratitude today. And this quiet time has brought that to a lovely peak. I mean, tearful gratitude. We spent about 7 hours without power yesterday. And I think that's part of the trip of thinking how lucky we are to not have to deal with that on a regular basis. And how many other people in the world are having such other difficult times, and just to be warm and comfortable and have community.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just really welling up. It's quite wonderful.
Yes, please. Yeah. So welcome here.
Thank you.
Yeah. Through the form of you. Yay. Thanks, Mary.
Okay.
Yeah, please, Elena.
Thank you. So for me, at the beginning, I felt tension in my neck, and after our short meditation, I feel calmness and relaxation. So with deep breathing and concentration on myself, not on the others, I released all the tension through my shoulders, hands, palms into the ground. So it was amazing during 10 minutes meditation that all the tension after conversation with a person. So I did this, and I feel peaceful and relaxed. Thank you.
Yes, please. A little reminder of the power of quiet and meditation and stillness.
Yeah,
And
only 10
community.
minutes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
nice shared energetic here too. Yeah, wonderful. Thank you. Yeah, it doesn't have to be huge amounts of time. Often we can't find them in our busy days too. So the power of 10 minutes here and there. Okay, going once, going twice. I think we'll just take these in the order that they unfolded. At least that's my first. I see Dolly not showing up for self. And when I focus on one person, right, it emerges in terms of what process to do. Maybe self-inquiry here. I kind of feel that. And Dolly, you seem to get a lot out of self-inquiries when we've done it in the past. So whatever happens, we're all, holding space here. If we're in physical space, we'd probably be in a circle. So being online here, we've got our virtual circle. Sometimes it's nice, especially this time of year for us who are in wintertime, to imagine maybe a little fire in the center of it or something to unite us. And what somebody is working might really strike a chord for you too. It might be parallel processing that's happening. Inquiry, I'll be helping that person meet what's happening for them. It may take different twists and turns than what's going on as you meet it inside of you. So both can kind of happen at the same time. One person that can be going down their own lane while you're finding your way down your own specific lane. So also, sometimes we do different modalities like constellation, where it is helpful, where we can all actually do some processing work together instead of serial one after the other. So we'll see what unfolds here. We might have some constellation as well, which will give other roles and aptitudes and things to come into the container. Welcome, Sharon, as you're coming in. Yeah. Okay, so let me just go grab my tablet because I have a feeling I'm going to need it here. I'll just do a quick screen share. Okay. So I'm just going to go with your specific words here, Dolly, and we'll see if they're still relevant, but they were such powerful words. It seems like an appropriate place, of course, to start. So not showing up for self. I'm sure all of us can relate to this and meet this at various times, even if it might not be up for us at this point in time. So yourself, just doing your best to come up to that, this thing that you've been kind of seeing or noticing, or it's been flickering back and forth, however it's been in your experience. We're just welcoming it here into the safety of satsang, and we're all here as backup and support for you. And as you kind of sidle on up to not showing up for self, just doing your best to kind of breathe with it. And sometimes it's helpful to come with gifts. So being friends with it. A classic gift is to give it flowers, but you might have something else you care to. And just saying to it gently, you are welcome here. Hello, not showing up for self. You're welcome here. Anything that you notice is maybe you say those words to it and you give it flowers.
The word just gentleness.
Okay, yeah. So gentleness, you are welcome here. So all of us are just going to meet. How nice. Gentleness is coming to satsang. I'm getting goosebumps. Hello, hello. You are welcome here. Come on in, gentleness. Stretch on out. There's space for you to take up.
And that I would like to do that more often, just allowing that.
Okay, so the mind just got clued in and watched here.
Mm.
So we're just going to welcome mind because it's tracking and it's, hey, we should do that a little more. So just like the meditation stuff, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
We should do that a bit more. So you just want to authentically coo at it. Oh, hello, mind. Thank you for showing up and tracking, right? And just because minds always have hearts. They're in service of us. And so it's so in service here of recognizing, hey, we should be more gentle. We should do that more. So just agree with it. Very wise. Thank you, mind. Good idea. Thank you for your love and recognizing that. And so just even saying to gentleness, hey, mine agrees. Mine wants you here too. Mine appreciates you and values you. Gentleness, come on in. There's lots of space. Mind is even shuffling over a little to make some space for you.
And then the worry that I'm going to do it wrong.
Okay, so that's a little yeah, but just showed up. So we got to welcome that. So hello, worry, and doing it wrong. Doing it wrong is probably an old coping mechanism or something, right? So, but let's welcome both of those and just come on in, worry. Come on, doing it wrong. Just as you're being kind and gentle with them, right? Those old patterns of worry and doing it wrong. Bringing the gentleness in around that. See what happens.
There's a lot coming up.
Yeah. So just take a moment and don't let my words interfere with that. Just hello, all that coming up. You don't even have to articulate what it is. It's enough to just say that. And just welcome, welcome. Oh, hello. There you are.
It's really loud, though. It is the not showing up. It's the whole. It's like not doing what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, okay.
You know.
Yeah. So another little voice or command or historical thing showed up, not doing what I'm supposed to do or whatever it is. We don't know.
Yeah. I don't know how to. I feel like I need to share a little bit just to kind of bring it into
little narrative. Yeah.
a little. Yeah. Like for instance, I'm in a energy healing intensive course, and this is, there meditation every day, these things that I'm supposed to do, and I'm not showing up, and and it's not for reporting back, but it helps me when I meditate every day. It helps me when I do these practices every day.
Got it. Somebody inside isn't comfortable. This often happens with this kind of work, right? So there's a lot of taboos against it and a lot of historical stuff. So just know you got backup and sisters in the container here. And so just saying, oh, somebody in there is uncomfortable. I got the stuff I'm supposed to be doing. I'm not doing it. So just again, bringing that gentleness and that curiosity, but just, oh, who's uncomfortable? You might notice it somewhere in your body if you think about the assignments and stuff you're supposed to do. If there's any kind of tension that shows up in a certain place
Yeah,
or not. Yeah.
it's actually a pretty excruciating pain that these practices relieve. And I don't do it. It's like I'm more, I don't know what the relationship is with pain, but I'm familiar with the pain.
Okay. So we're just going to welcome pain. Hard thing to welcome. So just breathing, and you got back up here with all of us. We're all going to go meet pain with you. You just come up to the pain. Just agree that you probably don't like it either. Most of us don't. You're right. We don't like it. And there's probably a big old no thank you. So just agreeing with the authentic now, very natural. You're right. We don't like it. Never will. And it's not just personal. This is a big impersonal thing, like talking about the collective and humanity at large. A lot of history, right? With human beings and dislike of pain, understandably, our sweet little vulnerable bodies. So not just all yours. It might not even just be all this time, too.
I often talk to it and ask,
Yeah.
What it's trying to tell me.
Yep.
But I don't know. And maybe this is
Try this. That makes sense. You did the cognitive. So that's a great approach and wanting to interact with it and stuff. Just ask, is it necessary? You're not necessarily asking it, but you're asking consciousness at large. Is it necessary? And you'll know quick one way or the other. It's more an intuitive thing than a head thing.
I'm not getting anything.
Okay. So you even not getting anything is getting something. So you're kind of come up to the pain, and usually you're, what are you trying to tell me? And it's not telling you anything in the moment, if I'm understanding. And then you ask, is it necessary? And there's the response back is what? If it's a nothing.
My mind steps in.
Okay. Yeah. And that's
And
okay.
how else am I going to learn?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Like motivation.
Oh, okay. So, this is handy to find out. Okay. So a mind is using it as a way to help you learn and to motivate you. Yikes. Yeah. Okay. So we might want to.
And that's old.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, yeah. So
It's like
mine's
or
gone.
else.
This is about learning. Yeah. Okay, breakthrough. Good. And it's old. Okay, so now let's bring heart in. So we're going to move you down the body because this is all up here in the head, right? So let's bring you down a little lower into the body. It might be heart or it might even be lower to belly. And see what they have to respond to this, because mind is saying, hey, we got to use pain to motivate this woman. This is how else is she going to learn? This is how we've been doing it a long time. And does heart and belly agree?
No.
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 What? And so what's their intelligence?
Just feels like disconnection.
Yeah. Yeah. So probably super accurate. So just agree with it. I'm just going to draw a heart down here and then belly. And there's disconnection. So just meet disconnection. That's the first thing that's appearing here. And it's not fun to have disconnection. Hello, disconnection. It's here, so it's welcome. And just see what happens as you come in contact with your disconnection here. And we're going to invite, we'll see what happens. We're going to invite the flip of the polarity. We're going to invite connection. Because there's a longing here for connection.
I shook hands with disconnection.
Oh, okay, good. Yay.
And-
so that in a way makes connection with
Yeah.
connection. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, great. So out of that shaking of hands comes a connection, connecting with disconnection. What happens when you shake its hands?
It just said, nice to meet you.
Yay. Yeah. Yes, please.
There's like a lightness in my belly.
Oh, good sign. There's the belly, and it's got a lightness. Yes, please. So just really focusing on that lightness and even welcoming it and just telling it, you can stretch out a bit more if you'd like. You are welcome here. It's okay if it's unfamiliar. It's very new. Kind of like breathing onto a little flame, giving it a little more oxygen. It's okay if you get a yeah, but anything is welcome. Or maybe it can start to come in.
The pain is pretty present.
Yeah. So see if the pain has anything to say about this lightness as it's coming in. And let's give honoring to that pain, because it's, in a way, it's very, very strong, right? It's very persistent. And like, ooh, who are you? You're not human either, because it's so strong, right? It's quite impressive how it keeps coming back. this motivation kind of thing. Ask it who it was before it was pain.
Where it was sort of spread out, it's pinpointing to a very specific area now.
Okay. Yeah. So thank it for the pointer. And same thing as you come up to that specific area and ask it to, well, first off, bow to it. Everything likes honoring. Just really respect it and bow to it. And just who are you? Hello. Jill, can you let Asia in, please? Thanks.
It was, what came up was terror.
Hello, terror. You are welcome here. We've got a satsang here of incredible people, and you are welcome here, terror. And maybe even give it flowers. It's a big one to give terror flowers. Most people do the complete opposite. We're all here as backup, and we're meeting terror. Awe, personal, impersonal, collective, sweet human beings in terror. What happens is you and satsang meet terror. We're all bowing to it.
I went to offer it flowers, but what came up was me pouring water over it.
Well, just give it water and see what it does with that. Most things wouldn't like to have water poured over them, but so maybe just offer it a glass of water and see what happens. Because in a way, that's wanting to extinguish it when we're actually wanting to do the opposite instead of getting rid of it. And maybe even a little apology. Oops, sorry. Because that's understandable habit, right? To want to squash it or get rid of it or put it, oops, sorry. That's my usual. And so giving it a glass of water instead, see what happens when you give it the... And just look at you, terror. Oh my goodness, we thought pain had this strength and tenacity, and what do you know, underneath it is even deeper is terror. Look at you. We're just so bowing to you, not in a submission kind of way, but in a respect way.
It's like that's what it wants.
Yeah, the respect.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, because whatever terror is connected to is massive, right? So we're respectful of it all, even if the mind doesn't understand what the heck it is. We just bring, and all of us together can do this. We just bring respect and honoring. Wow. We honor you, terror.
Like it just wants to be heard.
Yay. Yeah. Just agree. You're right. You're right. Everything likes respect and honoring. We're listening. We're here. We're listening.
And my belly is like, it's not on fire, but it's like on its way there.
Yeah. So just agreeing. Whatever it is intense, it's fiery. And we're going to, and it is counterintuitive, but we're actually going to invite it to expand.
Okay.
Because the natural tendency is to want to squash it and get rid of it. So just, hello, fire, you are welcome. Even maybe put a couple more logs on the fire. And we're here, you're safe. And just letting it burn. It's okay if anything comes in and interferes, but if you're able to just go with it, keep going with it.
It's calming down.
Oh yeah, just a little bit of attention. Yeah. So just welcoming the calm. After you let it rip, it starts to calm a little after it fires up. Hello, calm. You are welcome here. The calm in the belly. Just breathing in the calm, and might even invite the calm to root down. It'll know if it wants to move. A classic is to root down or to stretch up or to expand. Come on in, calm. There's more space for you. You can occupy. Anything you notice, how it wants to move when given the invitation.
Yeah, I've got like the fire in my hip and then the calm in my belly.
Mm-hmm. So just inviting that calm in that belly. Root down, expand out. You're inviting it to take up more room because it's new for it being in there. So you're just kind of pointing the way that it can take up more space. And if it wants to, it'll know how. It has its own intelligence. So anything that you notice with that calm is you're inviting it to take up more space.
It's moving up.
Ah. What do you notice? Where is it moving up?
To my mind.
Oh, wow. All the way up. Yes, please. So just agreeing, yes, please. So it's moving up through that belly, up into the heart, and even up into the mind. Yes, please. Good idea. Talk about its own intelligence. Just breathing it in, letting it come in and settle throughout the whole system, the whole connected system, the mind and the heart and the belly, and rooting down, all calm. Yes, please. Yes, please. You are welcome here.
It's yeah, it feels like it's spread everywhere and it's giving the fire just enough space.
Yay. Perfect. respectful of the fire, giving it its space, and just everywhere else occupying with calm. Excellent, excellent. Yes, please. Good idea. Thank you for your partnership. Thank you for occupying me. That might be the place to leave it as it continues to
it feels,
unfold.
it feels like it.
Okay. And
Thank you.
yeah, very, very welcome. Ask the mind, or it might be actually other intelligences here, but you know, I like to have a title. So just see if there's any title that it want to communicate to you. What would be helpful as a title? As a touchstone, right? As you look back on it to remember this feeling.
It's like what's coming up is about breath.
Mm-hmm. Is it breathing into the fire?
Yes. Yeah. Wow. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Every day we get to meet terror. And have it unfold into calm. Okay. That'll continue to unfold. We'll check in too, Dolly, as it's continuing to ripple. I'm just checking the chat to see what's happening here. Okay, yeah. And we use the chat too, during and after a piece of inner work. So you're welcome if there's anything you want to communicate to Dolly, you can use the chat and she'll read it when she cares to. Stop this share for a sec here. Whew. We'll just take a moment. We're not going to shift too fast here. I'm just going to take a look at my list and maybe we'll just slip into glum here. Valerie. Yeah. And aging and anniversaries and completing and mortality. Might as well go for the big ones. Let's go for aging and mortality, shall we? Yeah.
Sure.
Give me a sec. I'm just gonna.
Yeah, I sound very enthusiastic.
I know they're all delicious. I know there's treasure behind them, but it's scary to meet them. So this is nice to be in satsang doing it as a group, right? We get to meet them together.
Well, okay, go ahead.
I'm just going to bring up the tablet again. Okay, we're moving fast, everybody. So. And often it happens like piggybacking. So I can feel this with what Dolly just brought. That same energy is here, intensity, the beauty of that calm to be able to meet these topics. So Val, which is most present at this moment?
Well, I resonated with Dolly with, you know, not doing the things that will actually make you feel better.
Right.
The reason I'm actually at the standing desk today instead of sitting down is because a couple of days ago, I broke down and did the Donna Eden daily energy thing, which I hadn't done for a very long time, and it works.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's just this little frustration with knowing what I need to do. Mortality is always going to be a thing. You are racing to the end, trying to get your stuff done on this plane.
Okay, there's the mind. So I'm just going to draw
Right.
my quick one for the mind.
Oh yeah, the mind loves to
the mind's
chat about death.
Yeah. So mine's already weighing in here. So we'll just welcome it all. So multiple. There's a big dog that's barking in the background. I'm not sure if you can hear him, but he's probably going to go out for a walk here soon enough. So you will really hear him in a moment. But let's, so agreeing here, mine's tracking everything that happened there.
Right.
And it's going, hey, you too, you're like that too, right? You don't do what works either, right? So just thanks, mine.
Thanks so
it's
much.
tracking and it's accurate, right? It's one piece of the puzzle. And so thank it for its love, because everybody, our minds, this is kind of a classic thing we do with our minds, right? Is minds can sometimes be, they point out things that we might not want to see. And they can get a little obsessive, right? And they have their one-dimensional kind of thing. So we appreciate them because they're a one-trick pony. And they're always in service of us, right? It really does at the root come, it's heart-based, even if it doesn't seem like it. So we just really want to, oh, there you are, mind, and really appreciate it authentically. And, it's not so comfortable for it often either, right? To play its role. So we just want to be sympathetic to that. And, mind is also giving its rift about mortality, nice and rational about mortality, right? So that's wonderful that it has that approach, and it rattled off some very linear, understandable stuff. And so we thank it for that.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're just gonna, and you got back up here, we're all gonna just come up, and we just met terror, so now we're gonna meet mortality. Probably some terror mixed in there. So your mind did its connection to mortality, but let's all come up and bring your heart and bring your belly too. And we're all behind you. We might even be holding hands here as we all come up and we meet mortality. Wow, everybody, let's look at mortality. Look, feel, taste, smell. Doesn't just have to be the one sense. Most people do different things with mortality, right? So we're going to be counter to that. There's Riley. Riley's coming to meet mortality and bark at it. Yeah. That's usually what people do. Bark at mortality. So go ahead and bark at it. In fact, the mind was kind of doing that a little bit. And just see what happens. Let's all do a bow to mortality. Everything likes honoring and respect. So we're going to give mortality honor and respect. And just see what happens as that occurs. Anything is okay.
The dying's not the problem. The living is. Always has been.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Excellent.
No, I've always had this belief. Let life prove me wrong, because you have this assumption that something's going to happen and something completely different does. But I've always had this belief that I'm going to check out really fast. And that, I can see that comes from, fear of the slow and hard decline. Illness, aging.
Okay, now we go meet them.
Yeah.
Hello, illness. Hello, aging. Because they come on the heels of mortality. He's still barking at him.
Yeah. Yeah. Rail against the dying of the light.
So just agreeing with that. That is such a prominent thing for humanity that poets and artists have encapsulated it in very famous words. It's just meeting that natural railing against. Yep, you're right. Human beings tend to do that. You're right. Natural. Especially against dying of the light. No, thank you.
Well, and you know, there's this other part of my mind that, you know, the light doesn't die.
Yeah, beautiful. And so if it doesn't die, what does it do?
Well, it keeps going. It's an illusion. It's the, you know, the simulation that we think there's game over. There isn't.
So if it's not game over, what is it?
You know, my belief system is you get to come back, you know, as much as you want to play.
Come back, come play. So just they're coming to satsang, right? The polarity of this. So welcoming this other side. Natural that there's the illusion and that simulation, that game over business. But you're also getting in touch with it keeps going. Yes, please, it keeps going. And hello, come back. And hello, come play again. Just inviting them in to help balance it out. And just noticing what's happening to your system and to this larger configuration of things that all humans meet. Anything you notice? Now what's present?
Yeah, it's attachments.
Okay, yep, makes sense.
I've been watching Catching Up on Dark, which is a German time travel thing on Netflix. And one of the conceits is it's these people in a town who are caught in these time loops. And one of the things that's come up recently is that you can't change time. That the whole thing is like they're trying to change and get out of this system and they can't.
Okay.
Which is really just kind of despairing and kind of against what I believe.
Be sweet to the mind, because the mind's going, hey, this program, right? La, 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 it can't change time, right? So
right.
It came up as a counter as you were feeling the light keep going and we come back and we play again. It went, attachments, right? And you also had mentioned losses and anniversaries, right? Connected with this time. So let's just go there to the attachment. And just to mind, obviously, you know, is pointing out from its perspective, hey, you can't change time, right? Like this metaphor of this series you're watching. But let's just go to the attachments and let's just agree with that, right? That there are these quote unquote attachments that kind of interfere with this eternal light business, right? So just, you're right. Hello, attachments. And just agree that we don't like it, right? Like you don't like losing people. You don't like there's obviously things you're attached to, and just being really kind with that. That of course the human beings, yourself in this case, has attachments. It has things it wants to continue in this particular life, in this particular incarnation. So just being really gentle and kind with that's natural. And just see what happens as you're kind with it instead of the opposite. See what happens as you come close to attachments. We're here with you. I can feel your husband. So, yeah.
Yeah, and my parents.
Okay. Yeah.
Um,
So we're just welcoming them. Hello, mom and dad. Hello, love.
and, you know, I watch these people have dreams and not fulfill them and
Mhm.
end up getting ill and dying, you know.
Mm.
And they're fine. You know, it's like I tap into their energy and they're having a good old time. And
Uh-huh.
you know, my dad thinks he succeeded. So that's the only metric that really matters.
I missed the word. Your dad what?
My dad thinks he succeeded.
Oh,
Which is
succeeded.
the only
Yes.
metric that matters.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Probably didn't want to die in debt, but hey.
But the mind, understandably, has death linked up with this kind of success business and succeeding,
Yeah.
right, and fulfilling dreams. Hey, so mine's, but these folks did all that and they died through illnesses too, right? So not
Yeah.
fun ways to go. So just agree with mine because that is accurate, right, from a mind and
Yeah.
cognitive point of view, right? It's pointing this out.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right. And then just see if the heart of the belly has another take on it. Hey, heart and belly, mind saying, look, we can't fulfill dreams here because people get ill and die. And we can't change time. If you go a little lower into the heart or into the belly, give them microphones. Maybe just go to the heart with the attachment because it's love, right? Just spend some time here in love before we move on. You're right. We loved them. We love them. We continue to love them. We are attached to them. And these magnificent people fulfilled dreams. And they got ill and died. Don't like the latter part of it. The human part doesn't, understandably. They have anything to say to you, actually. These people who fulfilled dreams yet got ill and died. And here you are back here on the earth plane, right? In the dilemma of, do I go forward or not? Do I still got another chapter in me?
Yeah, the thing that pops into my head is, and we'll just put a pin in it for right now, is I don't feel generous. But the image I got from Stephen was like the parting shot of Mad Men, Don Draper on the beach or whatever it is, meditating.
So agree. So thanks, Stephen, for that, because he just gave you, as a metaphor, he packed that contains a lot of information. So what's the message in there as he shoots that over to you?
Well, there's wit and irony because he never finished the series. He died before the end, but we used to watch it, and he was in that world. And he used to say that all the people he used to work with in the 60s in advertising were either dead or in rehab. And that and gee, I didn't have as much sex in my office as they do. That was the other thing. But
rip off.
Yeah, but he actually did the Don Draper journey. He from his beginnings, he invented himself and made a lot of money, and then had a bad marriage and came out of it a halfway decent human being after all that time. Not to say he wasn't with his flaws, but, even his son, who was abused by him, admits that he got better. He got it. He, had a great character arc and died in a great place, mentally, spiritually, not so much physically.
Well, wow. So thanking Stephen for the information, right? And for the messages about humor and wit and irony and getting it and great character arc. So yes, please to all of this, right? He's communicating this and there's an invitation. We'll see how your system responds to the message, right? But just yes, please, honey, to wit and irony and getting it and a great character arc, just like you did, right? He's communicating wisdom from that perspective. And just see what happens as you invite these in, these wonderful flavors and essences and wisdom bits that Stephen's communicating across the veil here. What happens is your system receives them. Can you invite them in? Is there any yabas or is it a free flow?
Well, yeah, the immediate energy download I got is, okay, yeah, let's get back up on the horse and do this.
Yeah.
He was going until he couldn't go anymore. He was always, okay, I'm getting up. The weekend before he died, it was like, I'm getting up and I'm going back to chemo, when really his numbers were not good for it. And there's no sense of like that weird bootstrappy bro stuff with that. It was like, no, it was a real Sagittarius kind of, let's get up and keep going. Let's get up and do the next thing. And not a lot of flogging involved, which may be what the motivation thing is about.
So just see his message is very clear and he's responding and he's saying, hey, honey, get back up on the horse. And his character arc was keep on going, right? He just kept going right till his end. And just see how that message responds, how it lands or doesn't. It's okay, whatever happens in your system, right? But he's communicating this very strongly, saying, get back up on the horse. Keep on going. You keep going till the end here. Do you have a yabat, or does that come into your system and land and root down?
It's landing pretty well. I still have a little I don't wanna going on.
Yeah, let's go to that.
A little orphan somewhere who's like, fuck it.
Yeah, good. Yeah. So let's invite everything that has settled. Yes, please. Right. There's a lot that has responded to, but I don't wanna. Let's go into that. Oh, hello. I don't wanna. You are welcome here. And you said it's an orphan. That's the word we use here and in my stuff for the little bits, little parts in there. So let's just come up sweet to that part. Let it, the I don't want to probably wants to stomp its feet or something a little bit, have a bit of a temper tantrum. So let it go ahead and object, right? Everything else settled so nicely. So, but it's okay that it's objecting. Go ahead, object. Just let that play out a little, just like Dolly's fire.
Yeah.
You might even invite it to get a little bigger. The stomping becomes like a volcano or a fire or something. Just kind of let it rip. Because you're not going to nobody would like chemo and illness at the end of the life and seeming dreams ending. Of course, you're not going to like that.
Yeah, it's like it's always been kind of like an energy. This is the thing. The last 6 weeks has been. I do manage to get up out of bed, but it's like I haven't had any energy, and it's like it's almost like a conservation of energy thing. It's like what's the use?
Okay. Yeah.
What is it? You go for the thing and you don't get it. Well, I mean, honestly, how many times has that happened in your life? An average amount.
Well, before you discount it,
Yeah.
there's a lot of wisdom here, and it's a natural reaction. So we want to authentically, again, everything likes bowing, right? So just bow to that. Bow to that natural conservation of energy and the whole kind of defeatist, what's the use thing, right? Even if Stephen had a different mentality, your response to that, understandably, is part of it is to chafe at it. Makes sense to me. And just see, you're right. We don't want to. What's the use? Of course, we want to conserve our energy. Ah.
Yeah, it's always.
Maybe even, go
sorry,
ahead.
Sorry, yeah.
Yep.
No,
You go ahead.
it's almost, it's like I think about, okay, I got a class that I'm trying to create.
Oh, that's popping up.
Yeah, called Book to the Future. So it's a combination of the future self work with the smash book thing I just learned. Which is you use the book to remain in contact with the future self. Right?
Excellent.
Because I think a lot of people do that future self vision and they don't check
one
in
off.
on
Yeah.
a regular basis, right? So you know, and I'm over here going, okay, what is going to make it worth my while to do this? I mean, I can just sit down for an afternoon and do all the brainstorming on it, and I'm getting ideas all the time. They're coming in. But it's like the part of me that's like, you know, I don't want to, what's the use? It's like, what's in it for me? Can you guarantee 20 people will show up and give me, you know, $300? You know, that whole thing. It's like, bring the people to me.
Okay, so we're just gonna first off welcome Book to the Future. Hello, and brainstorms and ideas. Right, it's popping. Stuff is
and
happening.
Tinfoil is involved too.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear it.
I want it to I want the books to kind of look like DeLoreans. Yeah.
Cool. Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yes, please. That sounds fun. Yes, please. And then this comes in, this little kind of pouty part comes in, or, you know, it also just linear and logical and practical and material, right? So of course you want to make some funds from it. And of course it'd be nice to have 20 people in attendance. So just agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
And just see what happens as you agree with it. What happens with that energy of the what's in it for me? Any more yeah buts?
Yeah, you know, I realize I'm like so resistant to conflict that self-conflict kind of throws me off. I just realized that. It's, you know, it's hard enough to deal with people without dealing with the inner people.
Oh, okay. So something,
you know, this is all
like,
this is all stuff that needs to be negotiated, right? And they're practical things you do. You start with a big enough lead time and, you know, bombard the list with, you know, and create a great sales page and, you know, all the practical stuff, right? It's stuff that can be negotiated with.
So understandably, it has a thing about conflict. And so just agree with that, because a lot of us, you've got it, and a lot of people do, understandably, because when you start to work with people, stuff happens. Yeah. Right. So just agree with it, because that's accurate. It's right that different kinds of conflicts do come up, right? You can stay in your place alone and do nothing, or you start to move into creating these things, and there's some stuff that comes with it. So just agree with it. And yeah, we don't like it. We don't like conflict. Ugh. We don't like the people dynamics or the power dynamic stuff. Just agree. That's actually very wise. And there's a natural aversion to conflict. And it's also giving the anecdote here, which is negotiation and practical steps comes out of there. So just see what happens. It might still have some more yeah, but as negotiation comes in and we invite that in and we invite practical steps, yes, please. What happens to this part in here that's not so keen on the idea? And we're not trying to, we want it to be whatever the heck it is, right? It doesn't have to change. So just see how it's responding to these things. Anything is welcome.
Yeah, my thought is, how can I get you to show up daily? You know.
So how can I show up daily?
Yeah, how can I get you to show up daily?
How
Um,
can
and
I
how-
get you
and
to show up daily?
And how can I
Okay,
enroll?
so there's
what's in it
so
for
so
me?
there's a just hold on.
Yeah.
There's this is in a way you're in conflict with it, right? So
Mhm.
there's a part of you. This might be mind. I don't know. How can I get you to show up daily? Valid enough question. So see how it responds to that. It might dig in its heels, or it might have some other response.
Yeah, the thing that pops in my head is you need to schedule fun. You're
Ah,
going to schedule work. You
Yes.
absolutely need to schedule fun.
yeah.
Has to be
Yeah.
written. It has to be written down.
Okay, good. So this is probably a little kid part in here. And it chafes at conflict and it chafes at discipline. And when you put in this showing up daily, that stinks of discipline.
Right.
So it wants fun. Its counter is fun. So how does this part that's saying, how do I get you to show up daily? The counter was, this is mediation. It's saying you get that by scheduling fun. So can it schedule, hey mind, hey doer, can you actually schedule some fun in here for the little kid part? How's your mind respond or your doer respond?
Yeah, part of my brainstorming is making it fun. Brainstorming fun.
Okay, so it's giving kind of a lame counter, but from its perspective, that's fun. Hey, we brainstorm, that's fun.
Yeah.
How's the kid respond to that?
Yes, thank you. More, please. Yeah.
Pardon me?
Yes, thank you. More, please.
Oh, okay, good. It actually liked brainstorming. Yeah.
Yeah.
And how does the mind respond to the kid saying, more brainstorms, please? That was fun. We like that. It's like, keep going. So just invite brainstorm to get bigger. Remind or extend an invitation to the brainstormy. Hey, you can get bigger. My kid likes you. My mind likes you. My doer likes you. Keep going, brainstorms. Make these bigger as they expand. And how is that for both sides?
Yes, I mean, I can feel a shift in the energy. It's definitely,
Okay, that's our sign. Good.
definitely.
Yes, please. To the shift in the energy as brainstorms comes in and expands. And what's the qualifier? As your energy shifts, what do you notice? What's
I
it bring
just-
with it? Where is that shift?
It feels lighter. It feels like
Ah.
I'm not quite, like gravity is dragging me down.
Right. Excellent. Okay, so lighter, you are welcome here. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the opposite of gravity, you are welcome here. Yeah, because understandably you came in, it was very heavy.
Yeah,
Good.
there's
So
some,
yeah.
it feels like there's some days I get up and somebody, turned up the gravity to 2 point.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
mean,
for sure.
It really feels hard for me.
Yep. So it makes sense that this counter is coming in of something that is lighter as opposed to heavy, right? And fun. right? And this brainstormy stuff for now, right? We're just where you
Yeah.
are right now in the process of it. But this is fun. This is lighter. So just inviting anything, this stuff, and anything else that matches light, you are welcome here. Come on into Val. Help be a counter to this gravity and some of this other heaviness. And we're just like Dolly's continues to unfold in her. This is active and activating in you. So just inviting it to keep on doing its medicine, right? This lightness is medicine. Come on in. Fun. Great character arc. Still got some time here for an even greater character arc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still got some time.
Yeah. And with that lighter energy coming in and scheduling fun so the child gets some fun here instead of just old discipline. Is it a good place to leave it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, as soon as I feel the flip, whatever it is, it's like, okay, this is doable. This is more doable.
Okay, good. Let's put this as the title. This is more doable.
Nice brush, by the way.
Okay, thank you, Val.
Thank you.
To unfold, just letting it continue to unfold. And this is doable. Yes, please. Okay, just going to see where we're at time-wise. Got about 20 more minutes. Everybody take a little stretch if you need it, or if you need to look after your body in any way. Jill, I'm going to go to you next. Anything you want to say about the processing that's preceded you? It might have been interacting a bit with what you've brought to the table about peacemaker and inner mother and specific pattern. And if not, we'll just interact with what's present now and enter it in with you.
Well, I can definitely relate to both people.
Mm-hmm.
And the showing up, not showing up for self. And then the, what's the point? Why keep going? The what's the point? Why keep going? That feels like it's connected to like a sense of defeat. Like it's never enough. I'll never achieve the proper normal level of, success, wisdom, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, so let's start there. It'll never be enough.
Mm-hmm.
Or is it I'll never be enough?
What I'm hearing from I'm aware that my left foot is active and we'll never be enough for her.
Ah, okay, good. Will never be enough for her. So just go into that foot and welcome it, and maybe even invite it to exaggerate or expand, accelerate what it's doing.
Hello, foot. Tingle. You're welcome here.
Did you say it was left or right?
Left. When I invite it to get bigger, the response is we're afraid to get big and strong and tall. There's a defeating her pessimism towards us. That's funny.
Okay. Yeah. So let's go meet that. Let's meet defeat and pessimism. Pessimism. I think that's it. Yeah. If I ever spell anything wrong, feel free to put the correct spelling in the chat.
Pessimism is 2 S's.
Oh, thank you. PECI, pessimism at the beginning? Okay, you'll have to.
PESS.
Hold on, we'll have to do it right from the beginning. PESS?
Yeah.
Thank you. PESS. If anybody has a left brain activated, go ahead and put it into the chat for me. Pessimism? That looks better.
That's
Good.
yeah.
Anyway, I hope you're meeting them. So come up to defeat. These are kind of big characters, right, in the human experience. So, and in your life in particular, but we can all relate to them in their humanity. So hello, defeat. Talk about heavy and gravity, right? Hello, pessimism. You're here, so you are welcome here because you're here. We don't like you very much. There's probably great aversion.
Hello, defeat. Hello, pessimism. You're welcome here.
Bring flowers. Most people do the opposite. So bring flowers to them. It's probably a different tack than how you've been with it historically.
They're like, haha, you think we like roses.
So what do they like?
What do you like?
Tell them they can't have you.
Oh, there's this sort of vicious venom. You prefer venom? Oh, negative. Negative animus?
So just agree with that. And then ask them who they were before they were vicious and venomous and negative animus. What's their original face? Who were they before? Who were you before all that?
Loving, lover, higher self connection?
Yeah. There's who you are.
Dreamer, being held, being lovable, being wanted.
Yeah.
Acceptable.
Yeah. So just agreeing with all of that, yes, please, right? Something got hurt a little along the way and it went mean. But underneath it, it's protection. So underneath, it's all about love and loved, higher self, connection, lovable, wanted, accepted.
Desirable.
Yep, good one. Yep. So just agreeing. There you are. Yeah.
Oh.
Of course we want that. Something got a little twisted, understandably, as it got hurt. But underneath it, it's all this beautiful stuff. All this vulnerability. These are very vulnerable attributes. So just, you are welcome here. You're right. We like this stuff too.
There's another, underneath that is sexual maturity. Sexual maturity.
Yep. That sounds like a good one. Yep.
Unmothering self.
Yes, please. So it's communicating with you rapidly and very intelligently. It's educating all of us. So yes, please, to all of this. I'm just inviting it to root down and stretch out, and however it wants to expand, if it does. And is it able to do that?
No, it wants to escape the form.
Well, that seems a natural thing. So just agree with that.
Mhm. There's some kind of emotional pain.
Well, let's go meet emotional pain, just like Dolly did.
Mhm.
And a lot of this has been little. So just bringing your bigness to go meet that emotional pain, maybe taking the little one by the hand.
Mhm.
And just saying to that little one, of course, it's understandable you want to escape form, because it wants to escape this particular form, right? This pattern, this conditioning, this particular form. Good idea.
Mhm.
It might also want to go universal, and that's understandable too, right? It wants to skip the human experience and go back to the universal. So that's an understandable desire, and that can happen. And there's still the human, right? You're still in human form. So, so
It's
the
a
human,
teen.
pardon
It's
me?
a teen. It's a teenager.
Okay. Yep. So you got a teen orphan. Yep. So take her by the hand, and the two of you are going to go meet this emotional pain.
Oh,
You and your teenager,
okay.
your adult woman.
Yep.
And
I'm
what
right here.
happens is the two of you stand in front of this emotional pain from that historical stuff with mother.
Oh, it's just too much for her to bear. It's just too, there's sorrow, there's infidelity, there's drama, there's pain, there's so much there.
Yeah. So just agree with her.
Mhm.
She's right. It's too much for a teen.
Yeah, that's not your fault that that sort of fell on you. That was just other people's garbage that they didn't want to take responsibility for.
Very accurate. And just see how she's continuing to respond here. And just keep going with those messages. Sweetheart, not your responsibility. Sweetheart, you're just a teenager. Not fair, not right, not for you to take on. Just telling her you're right. It was so much. And that you, the adult, can take that.
Mhm.
And also bring in resources, bring in your future self, bring in any allies. You've got all of us as adult women here too, to help your adult with it.
Oh, she's saying she's not supposed to need anyone. She's not supposed to need their help. She's
So
supposed to be alone.
Sure.
Yeah.
So as a teenager, she understandably went that route, right? Because your rational is not all formed when you're a teenager. So just awe to her. Oh, honey.
Yeah, that's a lot to hold.
Yeah, to do it all on your own. So sorry.
Yeah.
And just here, give it to us. Give it to us. You don't have to carry it, especially all by yourself. No, we can help. It's allowable to receive help. In fact, it's a necessity.
Yeah, she's saying she forgot about us and she left us alone.
Yeah, very true. So sorry it's taken us so long.
It's not your fault they left you alone. They just were scared adult people.
Yeah, so from a kid perspective, a teen perspective, right? The parents look like these gods or got it all together. Now, from your adult you can understand. In your mid-40s now, you might even be older than they were, or around the same age, who knows? So just telling her, yeah, they're just people. They're just people with their stuff, even if they present, as these authority figures and having it all together, know better, superior, whatever it might be. But you're telling your teen, nope, they're just people. They're just
They
messed
were
up normal
wounded
people.
too. They didn't know how to deal with your maturing sexuality,
So it was
body,
complicated as this is
emotions.
happening. Her own sexuality is starting to bloom. Yeah. So just again,
Mm.
boy, complicated.
Yeah, that was not fair to you, and I'm really
Yeah.
sorry that they took that phase of development away from you and they put you in that really small place.
That's the way it went from all. However it happened, that's unfortunately the way it went. So just agreeing, rip off.
Yeah, you don't have to be there anymore. You don't have to be small or hidden or safe anymore. That's
What's
not
the flip?
appropriate.
What's the flip?
It's okay to mature and become a big woman, a big presence, a bigger voice, a bigger place in the world.
Yes, please. So just inviting maturity and bigness and voice and place that she can really expand into her own, really bloom.
That's
It's
what she
okay for her
needs.
to take up more space, be herself. There was all this stuff occupying room, right? There was no room for her to expand into. So now you're just inviting her. It's okay. You can expand.
Yeah. There's permission now from the adult consciousness for you to grow past that
Yes,
level
please. Just remind her, just show her how much time has gone by, right?
Yeah.
Because you're adult you now.
That dependency on their approval is now over. You don't need to stay there, stay with them anymore. You can let
So
that
if it's
go.
not their approval, what does your adult or what does your higher consciousness offer? Approval, it's where does it go? It's not their approval anymore.
Mm-hmm. Your inner self loves you now. Your adult consciousness is formed. You've grown up way past
Inner
that
approval.
time.
Inner
Yeah.
approval. And just tell her, I approve of you.
I approve of you.
As you take over the mother role, what do you say to her? These are the messages that would have been helpful to have happened back then, but you get to do it now. What do you tell her?
You have a beautiful soul, heart, body, and mind, and they're all connected to the divine woman that you're meant to become. And I need you here with me, us.
How's she respond?
She's sort of rising up.
Yes, please. To rising up at the divine woman. Yes, please.
Just permission to grow beyond her mother's fear of her own body and embodiment. Oh.
So just inviting grow beyond and rise. Good idea. Yes, please.
Yeah.
Stretch as much as you'd like. Stand up tall. You're welcome here. It's safe. It's safe.
There's some fear that mom will become jealous of her and try and take everything away.
Okay. Yeah. Understandable.
Abandon.
So a little but of jealousy will happen. Taking away will happen. So what does your adult you say in response to that? Understandable.
That's her fear. That's her struggle. That's not your burden to carry.
Yeah, it may very well happen, but that's hers. It's her struggle, her fear.
That's her unknown sense of self. That's her trauma and her legacy and her.
So maybe just show her some boundaries, right? That there's separation between herself and her mom.
Yeah.
Might not have been earlier on, right? But just showing her that now, your adult you can kind of show her those boundaries. Really guide her.
Mm-hmm.
And you already have an alpha mind, so you might want to extend an invitation, or if there's another place, to your now adult home, to your future self's home, but maybe you can get her the heck out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Now gets to come live with you and grow up with you.
Yeah, she needs a growing space in the alpha mind. A safe
Good.
growing space with some
So present her that, show her that, and see how she responds. Is she interested?
yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So then go ahead,
Mm-hmm.
and you may want to collapse down, or I can take care of it for you if you'd like. We can collapse down the older historical stuff, never to have to return to again. As you move her into the alpha mind and the new environment with yourself and with satsang and your now consciousness and your connection with your future self and higher self. And you get to be that role model for her.
Mm-hmm. There's
And all
still
those
this
resources.
attachment. There's still this attachment to letting go. Like
Just agree with her.
the mother needs us. She needs our help.
Okay. And, there might be stages of that too that happen. I mean, I'm certainly in one of those with mine at the moment. So just see, call on a higher consciousness. So calling on your guides there in alpha mind, or calling on your future self. What do they say? We've got the orphan here who doesn't want to let go or feels that she needs to look after mom to some extent. How do they respond to this dilemma?
She needs to know that she's not welcome there anymore, and that role, that was never her role, and that she needs to let go of that
Responsibility?
it's just like almost like a killer or like a death trap, or just like a really unclean place. Just
Well,
really,
sometimes there's this competition stuff, and it can even go with human beings, kill or be killed. Might not be that extreme, but just agree with that's, sometimes part of the human experience here, and just no thank you. Ask if it's necessary. Is it necessary to keep attached to this stuff?
absolutely not.
Did you get a no?
It's her empathy that keeps her attached.
Uh-huh.
She's trying to fix them so they're happier. It's just wounded child patterns.
So letting go of the wounded child, and that'll be a process as she's in here, so she can continue to mature along her natural trajectory. And yes, please, to letting go of the programs and the conditioning. Yes, please. Good idea.
Yeah. There's a lot of layers here. I think my Alpha Mind guides probably need to spend some time with her to just release those attachments, because there's like shame and embarrassment and
Okay, good.
all kinds of, there's wounded masculine, and yeah, there's a lot there.
So just yes, please. It'll continue to unfold. It's a process that's occurring here in the alpha mind. So there's going to be some cooking and grokking time here.
Mm-hmm. You don't need to do it alone. There's a whole team in here for you to work with, and they're not going to shame you or abandon you ever again. So
what's the opposite of shame and abandon?
They will greet you and welcome you, and they'll allow you to grow up, and they're going to encourage you and
yes, please. Yes,
love
please.
you, and show you self-worth, show you how to grow your self-worth, show you love and kindness.
Yes, please. Yes,
It's
please.
it's
Yes,
a lot for
please.
her to accept, to receive.
It's a big change. Yeah. So just tell her it's okay. You don't have to do it all in this red hot minute. There's lots of time to adjust and get used to this new normal and work out the bugs.
Yeah, she accepts it's a gradual shift.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, otherwise you'd explode.
Yeah. She's appreciating you and she's thanking the group.
Yes, please. We appreciate you right back. Good work. Good work.
Thank you.
And to be continued in there. She's in good hands. It'll continue to unfold. Does she want a title on this? Ask her what her title is.
Maturing woman?
What was the first word?
Maturing woman?
Oh, excellent. Yeah. Thank you, Jill.
Thank you.
I can hear my grandfather clock is going here. So that means we're more or less at the hour. I'm going to give this a quick save. Okay. Let's stop right here. Yasna had to leave. She had a bit there. Mary, you brought gratitude, so that's flowing through all of this. So we more or less accomplished what was on the agenda. Asia, hi, I see you're joining us. So I'm just gonna, with honoring of time, if one needs to leave, you're certainly welcome to just pop up and say goodbye. And I'm just going to bring up the slide. Goodbye, Alina. Thank you for coming. Yeah. And I'll just remind us about our date, our final date here. And I'm also going to point out something that's happening in Shift at School as well. There's a new course that's coming, which fits with some of the stuff we have been meeting here in Satsang. One sec. Okay, here's our next date. So we will send out, you're on the list for this. So we'll send out reminders. Anybody who's watching the recording, if you're not on our list, you can go to my Shift a Coach page and sign up on the site, and then you'll get ongoing notifications when these are happening. So Thursday, January 19th will be the next one, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific time. Convert to your zone. We'll do that in the reminders that go out here. And just have to get things up in the right place here so I can share this. There we go. I'm right in between seasons. So I have created one new course, and that's occupied a lot of my focus, is getting this new course up and running. There are more courses to come. So I will be refreshing the visual coach certification. It's going to happen in the fall. I don't have the date set, but in the next couple of days here, I'll set the dates for that. There are 2 prerequisites if you're interested in the visual coach certification. My going through Shift It, and then also going through, it's great to do satsang like you are, because that gets into the advanced and bonus maps in the certification. And then there's the fundamentals. I used to, for years, had various names, 12, 15 years, taught basic visual skills called the fundamentals of working visually. I'm now revamping that course as the fundamentals of visual coaching. and really want to get people more prepared as they come into that certification for the things that fit for the coaching environment. So I and Jill's going to be helping me here, revamping this course. So I'm figuring that out as well. That'll happen sometime this next season as well. There'll be another satsang. I always continue to run these free satsangs. I also have a private satsang. I'm in the midst of it right now. There are about 16 sessions, so I think we're at number 11 or so right now. Once that cohort has wrapped, then I'll create a new one, and so more folks can come into that private one if you care to. Now, what I want to just speak to here is the new course with Annika Lucas, which is Shifting the Power. And Annika is a survivor of very intense childhood abuse. She was put into a network by her mother, a sex trafficking network that was pedophilic, and with elite members of the political scene in Belgium back in the 70s. And so she's gone through an incredible healing process of coming to terms with what has happened to her and also the healing that's needed to occur. In satsang, we've just encountered a lot of parts work. You've seen examples of that and the orphan rescue, etc. So Annika in her own healing journey has done a lot with parts work and with spirituality and with non-dual work at large. And she's been quite vocal the last 9 years, as many other survivors around the world have been bravely doing so as well. So this course is really, it's for providers, but it will also be for survivors, and sometimes we're both. We're survivors and providers. So it's really about being able to meet some of these darker topics, the child abuse and the human trafficking, et cetera, that exists in the world, to be able to hold space for them. So just like what we do in satsang, we meet everything, right? So being able to meet that side of the spectrum. So survivors are met with somebody who can be with what they're bringing forward, right? And learning how to do that. In order to do that, we really have to do our own inner work, meeting our own darkness, and looking at where we go up or where we go down on things. So I think it's going to be a really beautiful course, even though I know it's intense subject matter. Annika's just written her memoir called Quest for Love. And her healing practice, the term she uses is the unconditional model. So it's very synergistic to what we do here in satsang, right? We meet everything. And so with her, with unconditional, the same thing, right? As a child, she was forced to have to meet some of these much more extreme things on the human spectrum. And actually having her heart opened and having her spirituality opened with boundaries, of course, right? So it has a lot to teach everybody on their healing journey. And I also collectively at the world at large, as we continue to hit our crisis and unfold here, right? And have to mature. So just what you so beautifully demonstrated, Jill, right? That willingness to meet our immature parts where they're still there and grow them. So very much we'll be doing that same process. And in the latter part of the course, it'll get to a role to play, right? Meeting the darkness is a role to play, even if it's limited just within oneself, like we do here in satsang. But some of us have a role to play as providers or different pieces of the puzzle. And so in the latter part of the program, there's some of my tools that come in that help people with their visioning and with their plan, right? Of how do we, it takes a big team, right? To meet these big topics, just like we've been meeting in satsang when we meet terror, we meet mortality, right? So meeting the darkness in humanity and in the world takes a big team. So that's what we do here in that. We haven't really marketed it. We're just starting, and we're getting people signing up already. So it's starts mid-February, runs for 10 weeks. And there is a what's called a deep dive. So if you're wanting an option that has more opportunity to do Q&A with her and more opportunity to do joint processing work like we do here in Satsang, the deep dive option has that. It has some private time with me, private time with Annika, and also some processing groups. I'll also be there doing self-inquiry after each one for the deep dive members, because understandably, you know, these topics will bring up all sorts of stuff within our system. So I'll be there doing self-inquiry, and we have all sorts of different tools and exercises to help people process stuff. So that's what's coming for 2023. It's a big one, and I'm yes, it's intense, but it's my leading edge of my work. So it's a real honor to be partnering with Annika, and I know my own next level of leadership will be brought forth by co-running the course with her and doing my own parallel inner processing work as I go along and hold space for people in there. So if that's of resonance, please give a look at it, and I'll be sending out some more in-depth emails about it and stuff too as it draws closer. Yeah. And those other courses, once I figure out the dates, I'll send out information about that as we get it organized on the website. So thank you so much for coming. Go ahead, Dolly. Yeah.
I was looking at that course, but you'd mentioned it, for providers, or it says therapists, coaches, teachers, healthcare providers, etc. I'm very curious about it because I feel like there's a lot of programs of that sort that I experienced, and I'm kind of trying to find my way.
You're welcome to come. Yeah. It's also for, you'll see in there, like those who resonate, right? So doing your inner work with it is a contribution in and of itself. So you don't have to turn it into a provider space. So if you feel resonance with it, by all means, come. Yeah. We'll see how it unfolds, and probably something will unfold, right? In terms of next steps or something, right? I would trust why you're called to it. So there's probably something that's unfolding in you that will show itself more. Yeah. All right. I'm happy to go into bonus time if there's anything else that wants to come. How are you, Dolly? I was going to check back and see as it continues to ripple through you. So if you have any report from the work you did earlier.
Well, physically, the pain has calmed. That's good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's still something. I'm just like on the verge of tears, and
just welcome
which
this.
I'm okay with.
Yeah. Also, you might want to just kiss the mind, because the mind wants to understand it all. And Annika a lot. She speaks of the process, right? The body sensations, the feelings and stuff come. And the last thing to come is like the memories or the cognition kind of stuff. So that, I'm not saying that you have a memory unfolding, I don't know, but the same process, right? We often have to just be really gentle with the mind, because sometimes it's the last to have click, right? And the body, with what you're encountering, it knows. So just allowing that to keep unfolding like you are, and then just be really gentle, like awe to the mind. Oh, we know you want to understand what's all happening here logically and rationally, right? And you might not get your precise answer right now. And I know that's hard for you, mind. Right? Like, aw, it wants to crunch the numbers, right? And this is stuff that can't be crunched yet, right? You may very well get cognitive down the line, but there's a timing and a process to it. Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, it seemed like that clicked. So yeah, it just buys you more time, right? So that this can continue to unfold, and the mind will give it space for it without it going cuckoo to try to figure it all out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet mind. Yeah. Asia, anything you'd like to say? I saw you popped in there, so hopefully some parallel processing was happening. Is there anything that you're bringing to Satsang? I can keep going if you have something.
No, I just wanted to tune in and I always like to watch you work, especially since I'm going through the shift at school. But yeah, definitely parallel processing in general every time because that's the
Yeah.
thing. Always, I always relate to a lot of what a lot of people are saying. But no, just always thank you to everybody who shared and to the work that you do and always parallel processing, learning, taking notes, just everything all at
All
once.
the different
always. So,
levels. Yeah.
yeah, doing a
Yeah.
little bit of everything.
Nice bow and
Yeah.
wave to all those,
Thank you.
the mind and the practitioner and the human being and the woman and the inner child. All of them are hello.
Yeah, yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
all the time. Thank you.
Yeah. Nice to see you. Yeah. Jill, any final comments or anything brewing for you? How's it unfolding?
Well, deep bows to the group and gratitude for the container and the discovery of this group of parts. I still feel like I'm sort of mid-process. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're being grokked.
but
Yeah.
thank you, Christina.
Yeah. My pleasure. To be continued. Yeah. All the best with the unfoldment. Okay. Bye all. This is who we were today. So all the best continues to unfold, and see you when I next see you.
Have a good evening.
You too. Bye.
Okay.
Bye.